Not at all. Paul, I thought my players were outstanding today, apart from just that final bit around the box. Congratulations to Chelsea, they won the game. Probably came for a draw, and we just couldn't quite make the breakthrough, but we showed everything today. We tried to get on the ball. We were the team that wanted to win the game. It was difficult because they virtually played right from the off with the back six. You know, the back four, the two wingers back in, midfield three in front, goalkeeper. So it was 10 players from the first minute behind. So and we just found it difficult to break them down. So, but it wasn't nerves. It was just that final wee ball and maybe a bit of luck that you need to break through, and we just couldn't quite get that today. So we're obviously disappointed with the result, but I've only got pride for the players after today, you know, because we're sat 2 points above Chelsea. If you see the squad that they have, it's phenomenal, really, the depth that they have. And if we go on and finish our 2 games, we'll finish above them by winning. So I've got nothing but pride, and a big thank you to the supporters today, because they were brilliant, kept pushing us, and I said, but unfortunately we couldn't do it for them.
Jose claimed that they were a better team, but I expect you to dispute that.
Listen, when you win the game, of course you will say that. Certainly we were the better team with the ball, you know, because I said we were the team that wanted to win the game. You know, I don't think there was any dispute about that, you know. But as I said, it's hard to reinforce that when you lose the game. But I think for my players, they tried to unlock them right from the very off. They're a very experienced group of players, you know. But for me, we've got a way of working, and I take great pride in that. And for us, as I said, we might not have got the result today, but we've seen over the course of the season that we've made great strides, and we'll continue to do that.
Stephen Gerrard's lifted the field many times this game. Do you not have to find a way of lifting him?
Yeah, I said at half time, Tony, that, you know, this is a boy that's picked up this club, you know, so many times. It was just sort of really unfortunate he slipped, you know, at a crucial moment, and right on half time. So again, he was doing everything he possibly could today, and we hoped that there was maybe one or two that could maybe, you know, step up to the plate instead of him, you know, and we just couldn't quite do that today for the team and for him in particular. So but there's certainly no blame, because we're in the position that we're in because of him. He's been instrumental for us this season, and it's just unfortunate that he's slipped over, and could have happened to anyone, really.
Is it hard, Brendan, to get out of the system with players and sort of have to almost try and lift you in the second week? You see for the first time, you know, obviously kept it down, but he sagged it over.
No, he's not that. You know, this is a guy that is so strong mentally, and, you know, probably a little frustrated, but I thought he showed his courage today, because after that there he still kept getting on the football. You know, he still tried to pass. At times he broke through and broke the line to get in. But him and our other attacking threats, we just couldn't quite make the breakthrough. And as I said, give credit to Chelsea for that. You know, they sat in really deep. There's probably 2 buses parked today rather than 1.
I mean, you saw it against Atletico as well. They're so hard to break down when they're like that. I mean, is there a way of doing it?
There is, yeah. You just got to try and at times a combination play around the box. I don't think you see it against Atletico. I think you see it against most. You know, it's the style of football. It's a defensive style. It's the polar opposite to what we work and how we work. If it gets results, great. Jose's got his result today, and he'll be happy with that. It's totally the opposite to how we will work, and how hopefully over time our offensive mentality and aggression, and I said we'll get those long-term results. But as I said, give credit to them. They won the game. It's bodies back in. It's not difficult to coach, you know. It's not difficult to coach to just get 10 players right on your 18-yard box. But it's obviously much more harder to try and break through it. And as I said, they defend it well.
Brendan, did you shake hands with Jose after the game? Because he headed straight down the tunnel after the scored the second.
I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him yet, to be honest. So.
Would you expect more of a coach to maybe hang around after the final whistle and shake hands? Or?
Well, it's always the nature. It's always how we work in this country. But I won't get hung up over it too much. So.
Did Chelsea time wasting tactics disrupt you, Brendan, particularly in the start?
No, it was disappointing that I think it was they get booked for time wasting on the 92nd minute, which I think everyone could see from the first whistle. That was clearly the plan to frustrate. But as I said, teams will work in a different way. We're a team that we try to win the game in a sporting manner, try to work, try to initiate the game with the ball. Today, it just wasn't to be for us. So, whether it was time wasting, whether it was defensive, it doesn't matter. We lost the game, and we'll move now on to the next game.
It's obviously a huge disappointment, but you must still be telling the players that you can win the league.
Well, we can tell the players that, like I did say afterwards, that I'm so proud of them. You know, in the position that we found ourselves in, you know, the money that's been spent at the top end of the table for us to still, as I said, be 2 points clear of Chelsea. You know, and we can finish off the season now and win these 2 games. We'll finish above them and maybe above Manchester City. But as I said, there's still a way to go. You know, obviously Manchester City now will feel, you know, that they can go on and win their games. For us, we'll just recover now. We will focus now on their next game and continue with that positive mentality that we have throughout the season, because that's why the reason why we are where we are.
Brendan, it's obvious your team are getting increasingly frustrated with the time wasting and keeping the ball out of play. Did you speak to them about that afterwards? Did you tell them that, you know, still got to play in the right way?
No, I just commended them and the values of how we work. You know, this is a football club and a group that, as I said, we want to win the football game in a certain way. But I understand, listen, if it's late on in the game and players are taking their time, of course it can be frustrating if it's from the very first whistle. But that's how teams are set up. That's the nature of some coaches and managers, and you have to deal with it.
Do you remember seeing yourself setting up a team the way Chelsea set up today?
What do you think? No, it's Jose's happy to work that way, to play that way, and he'll probably shove his CV in front of me and say it works. But it's not my way of working. You know, I like to take the initiative in games, try to dominate and let players express themselves. You know, I look at some of their players, like some wonderful, talented players there at Chelsea. But they defend it well. We tried everything we could. But our game is based on offensive, being creative, as opposed to stopping. Listen, I'm not going to sit and complain. You know, there's many teams that have come here. Certainly what the game will do, it'll prepare us for Crystal Palace. You know, we'll have to deal with long balls forward, which we've done today. We've done very well. We'll have to deal with long throw-ins. So we got the chance to do that today. And they'll have lots of players behind the ball, which we'll be prepared for as well. So as I said, I can't fault the players. We just couldn't make the final breakthrough today, and Chelsea were set up how they were set up, and they win the game, and they'll go home in the bus happy, I'm sure.